Hey guys, welcome back to another free spoken episode. We're gonna hop on my Tumblr, which is Heaven on Earth 888. And if you want to check me out, you would have to download the Tumblr app, make a Tumblr account, and then search me up thereafter. So we're gonna start off with the post, with the title of this post, of this podcast, I guess, of this episode. I'm not sure what to label this. Subconscious is listening. The conscious is the awareness of the present being. Kind of jumped right into that. So we have two split aspects within ourselves. As we always do, there's always a contrast, you'll come to realize. There's always an up, a down, a black, a white, a positive, a negative, a subconscious and a conscious. Always a contrast available. Always two. We come in pairs. It starts to get romantic when you think of like a man and a woman or a partnership. It's two. But yeah, contrast is always going to be there. You'll notice that. And so a very important contrast that we need to focus on is the subconscious versus the conscious. So the subconscious is typically what we're not consciously aware of. So we're not constantly telling our heart to beat and to flow energetic pumping light through it. We don't ask our brain to work or our lungs to hold our breath. It just happens. You know, we don't have to remind ourselves of our name and who our family is and where we go to work or school or what, you know, are just most common repetitions. Our most habitual life patterns can be found in the subconscious. Why is that? Because it's always listening. It's just observing, right? It's listening. So it's taking in whatever is around it in order to be able to form an understanding of what it is. And then it's going to simplify that understanding into a conscious awareness of what your present being is. So it's like a big ocean is your subconscious, and then your conscious is a little river that stems from this big ocean. And this consciousness is going to be what you're presently, dominantly, consciously aware of, what you're thinking of, what you're forcing into the forefront, what you're reminding yourself to do, what you're constantly being aware that you're doing, because it's not as habitual as your subconscious is. For example, your pumping heart, that happens on its own habitually. So because that happens on its own, you have the time and the focus and the space to focus on other things. Like, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to work on my self-concept and I'm building up my confidence. And you get to focus and spend time and energy on that creation because your heart is already doing its own thing because your subconscious has got it locked down. So your subconscious is always listening. And so a great way to get it to hear you, to understand you, is to speak to it in a way where you're telling, you're placing upon, you're putting the blanket over. And a great way to do that is starting with the sentence, you are blank. And so when I say, you are this, I'm putting something over you, I'm cloaking you, I'm placing something upon you. And so the subconscious is always listening, it's absorbing, it's taking in. And so if it's taking in, I want to be the one that gives it what it's taking in. Right. And so the conscious is a giver. The subconscious is a receiver. This is why the subconscious is also known as your feminine side and your conscious is known as your masculine, because your masculine takes action. It's external, it's outward, it's out, it's pointing outward, it's direct, it's action oriented. The feminine is internal, it goes internally. It deals with things in the intuition and feeling capacity. It goes internal, and that's why when you compare the biology of a man and a woman, the man's biology goes outward and the women's biology goes inward, because the feminine energy is receptive and a masculine energy is action oriented. And so subconscious is what? That's right, feminine, receptive. You place on top. You give and it receives. So how are we going to start our affirmations when we're telling our subconscious who we are? We're going to say, you are this. You are that. You have this. And you have that. You experience this. And you experience that. You believe this. And you believe that. This is your truth. And this is everyone else's truth as well. See, your subconscious is not only receiving and listening and taking in what's meant or regards to you, like who you are, what your status is. No, it also takes into consideration the outside world. And so it also takes into consideration the status of the outside world and how you, in relation to your status, fit into that and compare to that, and how you work and intermix with the outside world. It deals with everything. It's taking in everything. That's why if there's like a negative opposition that's trying to harm you in the TV shows, they're going to place things that are inappropriate. And so you're observing that and you're absorbing it as well. And so if you're not a conscious, enlightened being, you're not aware that what you observe is what you absorb. And so you don't limit yourself and what you observe, right? But when you become enlightened and aware of this and conscious of this, you start to say, you know what, I'm not going to watch or listen to certain things, because I understand that I'm always absorbing what I'm taking in. I'm always a receptive energy within my subconscious. I'm presently and constantly equally subconscious and conscious at the same time, ever presently. And so I need to be aware. And so right now, in my music playlist, I don't have any sad music. If I'm craving to listen to a song that's sad, I'll just search it up and I'll play it once or twice. But in my automatic playlist, I don't have any sad music. And it's not even like I'm just being like, you know what, Carla, I'm just going to be real about it. Because sadness is real and I honor it. And I think it can feel good in a small amount of time to like sit in there and things as such. I believe that there can be a use in negative energy through alchemy. I always believe that, of course. However, dominantly, I don't want to be absorbing that. I don't want to be absorbing just something that's objectively negative. Even if it's beautiful, it's objectively dominantly negative. It's a sad song, so I don't want to see it. You know, same thing with like scary movies. Maybe every once in a blue moon, but like for something that doesn't give me a positive message, it's not something I want to watch. That's why my favorite movie is It, the scary movie, the horror movie It. But I believe there's such a positive message to come out of it that I enjoy it. But movies that are just like reckless harm and murder with no real lesson or value, I'm just like, yo, this is negative programming. Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. And you can watch it, absolutely, and still be a good person. You're not a bad person, but just understand that you are still taking in what you're observing. So understand that equally while you're taking this negative observations in, speak to yourself and remind yourself of what is right and where you should align. Redirect your subconscious to understand what I'm observing and absorbing is not correct. Negative energy is not optimal. It's not the right thing to do, objectively, factually, and mathematically. You know, we're not being happy-go-lucky, only positive energy, optimist, annoying like that. No. I'm speaking to you in a factually mathematical way. Objectively, negative energy is not something that's ever going to benefit us unless we use alchemy to benefit us. But alchemy shifts an energy. So it literally shifts from negative to positive, and that's the only way it becomes useful. And so negative energy on its own is never going to be useful. Know that. Know that when you're observing things, so you realize, hey, I don't want to absorb this, so I'm not going to as a conscious, aware being. The subconscious, you're telling it what it is. And through that, it's going to decipher who and what you are. So you're speaking to yourself when you say still. I love to say, Carla, you are this. Carla, you have this. Carla, this is your present now experience. It's like I'm talking to a version that's within me. My feminine receptive energy. And she's receiving this. And she's understanding and integrating. Oh, this is who I am. And so I like to say this. I like to back to back. I'll say, Carla, you are listened to worldwide. I like that. Carla, you are listened to worldwide. And then I reestablish and reconfirm and revalidate by following with, I am listened to worldwide. So I say, Carla, you are listened to worldwide. I am listened to worldwide. I like to do both contrasts, feed both the feminine and masculine aspects of myself. And so whatever you want. Let's say you like somebody. Carla, you are loved. Carla, they love you so much. Carla, they're so in love with you. They're so in love with me. They love me so much. They're so in love with me. So I'm taking in, Carla, they love you so much. I'm taking it in, and then I'm putting it out. They love me so much. I'm taking it in, Carla, they love you so much, and then I'm putting it out. They love me so much. I'm taking it in and I'm putting it out. I'm taking it in and I'm putting it out. And it's a cycle, a repetitive cycle. And this spinning of the wheel, the spinning of the energy is creating a pattern, a repetition, a potency, an energetic buildup. And then we build that way. We build in that way. Let the subconscious bring in. What do you want? What is it that you want? And so let the subconscious blink and cover you with it. And then the conscious mind is going to receive it and act on it. I have it. I have here, the activation is in the realization, which then becomes the actualization. I love that so much. The activation of a truth is in the realization of the truth, which then becomes the actualization of the truth. I'm going to go with that affirmation. Carla, you are listened to across the whole world. I am listened to across the whole world. The activation of that sentence, of that belief, of that truth, of that perspective, of that energetic understanding, the activation of it, Carla, you are listened to worldwide. I am listened to worldwide. Is in the realization of it. Oh shit. Now I'm aware. Because I'm being told that I'm listened to worldwide. They're telling me, Carla, you are listened to worldwide. Oh, now I'm becoming aware and realizing this because you're telling me this. So it's becoming activated and real. Carla, you are listened to worldwide. Oh, I am listened to worldwide. Oh, the activation of a truth, of a reality, of a validity of a truth is in the realization of it. Oh, I'm listened to worldwide. Yes, Carla, you're listened to worldwide. Oh, I'm listened to worldwide. Which then becomes the actualization of it. Oh, I'm listening to worldwide. Okay. And now people in India are listening to me. In Singapore. In Australia. In Russia. In Iceland. In Alaska. In everywhere. In Canada. In England. Why? Because above all, before everything, before all, we create internally. Creation begins internally. I have here next, I'm already on this new chapter of my life. I'm already here. The old book has already been closed and discarded of. There's no undoing that. There's no going back. There's no going back in time, none of that. It's already done. I already opened the new book and I'm already experiencing my best outcome right now. I'm already in the best timeline. I'm already in this new chapter of my life. I'm already experiencing the actualization of my goals. The activation is in the realization, which then becomes the actualization. The activation of the truth. I am experiencing the actualization of my goals. The actualization of that truth will stem from the realization of it. Oh, right now, I'm experiencing the actualization of my goals. All my goals are presently, like right now, playing out. So right now I have everything I want. And really, when you start, like, you just compile everything in every aspect of your life and every small detail, and you just bring it all together, and you're like, I have it all exactly how I want it to be. How do I feel now? Well, I feel grounded, like a rock, like an anchor is pulling me down in a good way. It's like gravity grounding me. Like all my desires and their heavy weight of existence and actualization and reality is sitting within me in my root chakra, which is at the very low base. I finally learned my chakras, guys. I finally learned my chakras. The root base is at the very root end of the tailbone, and that's where I feel all this weight. I feel a heavy weight pulling me down and holding me down and grounding me to the weight, almost like a heavy blanket, a weighted blanket, and it's pulling me down. And when I define where this energetic weight is coming from, what it is, it's the weight of the actualization or realization of my goals. It's the weight of them being real and active right now, and presently being active. My work is presently being seen. My work is presently being loved and appreciated and respected right now as we speak. All my goals are undergoing and experiencing their actualization. And that began the moment I became aware of that, because the activation is in the realization. Carla, right now, all your goals are being experienced. They're playing out as we speak. They're actualizing. They're real. You're in the middle of it. Right now, as you speak, Carla, right now as you speak, someone across and every nation is listening to you. Hi. Right now as you speak, you're helping somebody. Right now as you speak, you're improving a life. You're saving a life. Carla, right now as you speak, your work is being seen and appreciated. Carla. And I'm like, oh, right now as I speak, somebody across the world is listening to me. Right now as I speak, I'm saving a life. Right now as I speak, I'm helping somebody. Right now as I speak, I'm this, I'm that, I have this, I that, I experienced this and that. As we speak, right now. And I'm getting shot at with all these awesome affirmations where I'm like, boof, 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 boof. And at the end of the day, all I can do is just shut the fuck up and feel this weight in my root chakra, this weight of success, and the validity and the reality of it. It's as heavy as a fucking boulder. Yo, you ever picked up a boulder? Pretty heavy shit. That's how real it feels. And I can just shut the fuck up and feel it in my root chakra and become aware of it and notice it and absorb it as I observe it. Because that's the kind of shit I want my subconscious to be aware of. Fuck a useless horror film or a really depressing sad song. No, I want heavy, concrete, weighted feelings of actualized and valid success. So that's what I'm going to expose my subconscious to. That's what I'm going to feed my subconscious. Because that's what I want to grow, and that's what I want to create. And guess what? Creation will always begin internally. Drill that into your head, because that's what you need to know. Right now, as we speak, your subconscious and your conscious has a present now understanding of who it is, of what the energies that constantly replay are. Remember, energy is mental conversation as well as external action that you put out towards your goals, as well as internal action that happens within the mind. And energy is everything. It's every moment in time. It's every idea, every creation, every action, every possibility, every imaginary scene, every sentence, every affirmation, every truth, every belief, every perspective. And I want you to remember that when you really believe that your goals are actualized and that they're happening right now, that you're in the middle of it, it changes who you are. You perceive things differently. You see life through a new lens. You see yourself through a new lens. You think differently. You believe different things. You don't really believe the world is out to get you anymore, or that the world is a fucking shark show that you're gonna have to bleed and fight tooth and nail and compete in scarcity. You see how all these are negative ideas, negative energies, negative constructs? You don't talk shit about people anymore. You don't judge people negatively anymore. You don't look down on people anymore. You don't spread negative energy. You don't, believe that all men are shit and that all women are lazy and haters. You don't believe all these negative things about everybody. Because you have everything you want. And what do you want? You want men to be shitty forever? Or you want men to be righteous and honorable? Exactly, you want men to be righteous and honorable, and you have everything you want. Right now, you're living through it. So right now, men are righteous and honorable. Carla, right now, the men around you are righteous and honorable. And right now, across the whole globe, men are becoming awakened and enlightened to being dominantly righteous and honorable. And whatever, talk to yourself in a way where you'll believe it. And then as more you go on, you say, no, all men across the world are all righteous and honorable. Because at first when you say that, you may not believe it. So work yourself up the ladder. The men around me are righteous and honorable. And then work up. The men in my vicinity, the men in my city, the men in my state, the men in my country, the men in my, the men in my world, the men in my race, But we create internally. And if you have everything you want, then where is negative energy coming from? Why is it there? If you have everything you want. Think bigger. Think bigger than just one detail. Think of every detail. Any belief that is causing you to create and perpetuate more negative energy, you can shift it. Every present now moment, your subconscious and conscious has an understanding of what it is. And if you want to shift it, you just have to shift it. Like, what if you're like, Carl, I'm just unhappy in my body, in my personality, in who I am, in what I feel like I reflect or identify with. Internally, energetically, I feel tangled and unaligned. I don't like who I am. That's fair and valid. And guess what? You have an equal opportunity to love who you are times 1,000,000. And this comes from personal experience. Because how can I drill this into you? Creation is energy, and energy is infinitely moldable and shiftable and changeable. And you're entirely energy. So you're equally just as shiftable and moldable and changeable. Let's say this. You said, Carla, I feel like I'm born in the wrong body. I just don't feel like I resonate with who I am. let's say I was born in a male body, but I just don't resonate with that. I feel like something's off. I feel weird. Understand this. Energy is energy, which goes beyond the physical matter, beyond the biology of the human body. The confusion does not stem from your biological body and any external reality like the body. The pain, the confusion is always going to come from the internal, because we create internally. This confusion, this unalignment, this unhappiness with who we are is an internal thing. Now, you were born at some point, and when you had this realization that this awareness that you don't like or resonate with who you are, it just isn't adding up. You experienced XYZ in that time. I can't tell you specific for what it was, but those experiences, like a mathematical equation or dominoes, led you to where you are now, feeling confused within yourself, unhappy, unloved, unaccepting, things as such. Now the goal here, realistically, think with me, with an open mind. Realistically, what is the goal? To biologically change the body, or to fix the internal mental state and how the internal mental state feels? What is the real goal? To fix the internal state. And once you do that, any external body problem will fix itself out in a natural, normal way, I guarantee you. But the point is that we create internally. And so you can solve your issues internally without needing to go outside of you to do it. Now, sometimes we'll align our internal energetic state, which will then cause a manifestation for external changes to happen in our body. And then so we'll have external changes done in our body. But the point is that came after the internal alignment. We're meant to prioritize internal alignment before external action. We're meant to prioritize internal alignment before external action. First, we're meant to take internal action, and then we take external action after our internal action and mental state has now been clear, aware, aligned, loved, balanced, flowing, accepting, all these positive energies. Because out of positive energy comes more positive intention, positive action. And so when you go on and change your body in whatever surgical manner you want or something, it's going to have a positive outcome, a positive result. Versus if you do it when you have a negative internal state and you take action, I'm going to change my body first without aligning my internal or alchemizing my negative internal state to a positive one, then you're taking action out of a negative mental state. So it's going to produce negative action, negative result, negative outcome. And then you're going to change your body and then still be struggling and fighting and have more negative energy. It's not going to be fixed or resolved because creation begins internally. You know, and there's a big misunderstanding where people will hate on people who are transgender and things like that. And it's not fair because what's happening is there's a confusion within the internal mind. And then we're blaming people for being confused. You know, alignment is important. And if you feel like you align more with the opposite gender, that has nothing to do with external bodily manifestations. Truthfully, it's an internal reality. Now, if that causes you to want to make a change externally, that's different. Because that came out of an already aligned and straightened out mental state. You have to understand the difference. There's a distinct difference. One began with internal action and one began with external action. The right answer, the right pathway, the right way that's going to lead you to a positive outcome and success is first dealing with your internal state before you take any external action. There's a difference. There's a difference. And if you are transgender and if you have taken the route where you first dealt with your confusion or imbalance internally with via your mind, your energetic, mental, internal state, your beliefs, your perspectives, your thoughts, your mental conversations, how you feel, your energetic internal alignment, how you feel with yourself. And then you took external action. I know you're living happily and blissfully and peacefully right now because we create internally. We create our own realities. So that's how I know. Because we create internally. And they'll tell you the same thing. I'm not attacking or trying to steer anybody off. I'm trying to steer you on the right path. I love you. I'm here for you. I understand you. I do. I see you. You deserve to feel aligned and good with who you are. And I want that for you. So let's do it the right way. And let's bring down our defenses. Let's bring down our defense.